In this video, I'm going to go over the Rapport system that turns skeptical homeowners into buyers. The first thing I'm going to go over is Rapport is not just small talk. And so we want to be really sure as we're talking to homeowners that this isn't just a step in your sales process. And I think that a lot of sales reps that are selling home improvement tend to think, oh, I'm over this step, now it's on to the next, and on to the next, and on to the next. While there's a lot of truth to that, you have to realize that homeowners don't trust sales reps to begin with. And so it's your job as we build rapport to build trust and build confidence that you are the person, the company to work with. Here's my take on rapport building while you're in a home. Number one, it doesn't need to be fake. If you're being fake, they can sniff it a mile away. So make sure that what you're saying is genuine, because if you are coming in saying things like, hey, you have a beautiful home, or hey, great picture, or hey, great this, you have to think every person that they've already met with, guys, has done that to them. So you are just putting yourself in the same pool as everybody else. Differentiation is what helps you sell, not to be like everybody else. And I will say this, there is some sort of expectation of a homeowner for you to do some sort of sales pitch or be in some part of the appointment selling them on why you, right? And that's okay. You still need to do that, but you don't want to introduce yourself in the first couple of minutes of, hey, you got a beautiful home here. That just, to me, it's so cheesy. And like you don't live your real life that way. So when I say don't be fake, what I mean is really work on being yourself. When you walk into a home, act like it's your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, right? Somebody like that you're really close to. And that way you can let down your guard. And the more you let down your guard, they'll let down their guard, okay? Number two, rapport is built gradually. So you don't need to force it. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you don't need to force this rapport in the first 5 minutes so you can move on to the next step. The idea behind this is that you never stop building rapport and starting to be friendly and getting to know these people. And it's not about like getting past that or just saying, hey, I've established rapport, I'm good. Otherwise, that would work in every area of your life, but it doesn't, right? So build it gradually. Sometimes I walk into a home and I just get the stiff arm, right? You get the cold shoulder and they just say, follow me, here's the problem. And man, sometimes it takes 20, 25 minutes, maybe even an hour, maybe even during the close for them to start opening up. It is really strange, but you kind of have to become all things to all people. And this is where I like to use strategic silence a lot of times and let that customer or client fill those gaps. One way I like to do this is using a mirror. So what a mirror is repeating back the last 3 or 4 words of what they said. So what I like to do is kind of hook on to anything that is related to the project or anything that might be remotely personal to them. And an example of this would be, hey, when are you guys looking to get the project started? And they would say, well, probably 3 or 4 months. Okay, 3 or 4 months. And then they would come back and elaborate a little bit more. And maybe there's something happening within that 3 or 4 months. Maybe it's a wedding. Maybe they have another project going on. And so you can kind of gradually work your way into that. But don't think that you have to jump on these things immediately. You can also pocket some of these things for maybe 10 or 15 minutes from now. And then maybe when you're doing a walk around or no one's really saying anything, you can say, earlier you mentioned that you had that wedding, like who's getting married? And you can easily kind of just throw something in there, right? So just let this build over time. Number three, I think, is probably the most important here. We've all heard in sales, love the one you're with. And I think that gets overused quite a bit. But it's cliche, but it's also real. It's a true story. And typically the sales reps that say that kind of get it, right? They get that you need to spend the time you need to. So whether that's 30 minutes or whether that's 4 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a home and a homeowner says, "Oh gosh, how long is this going to take?" And I say, "You know what? I promise you this will not be a 5-hour marathon." And guess how long I'm there? I'm there for 5 hours because I'm not pitching them for 5 hours. What they don't want is somebody in their home that's going to be throwing a sales pitch at them and showing them why they should do business with them and not everybody else. But if that 4 or 5 hours is spent wisely, then I think the homeowner loves it, right? And you normally end up closing that sale. Now, I do want to be careful. You also don't want every appointment to last 4 or 5 hours. That's a long, long time. But, anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, sometimes 3, I think is okay. But don't bring a sleeping bag with you. That's not the whole idea with this. Don't overstay your welcome. Read the room. Use little silent pauses so you can look at their body language and you can kind of see where they're at. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe and download my free objection framework. I think you'll get a lot out of it.